Hey everyone, Sheree here. First up, I want to apologise for the background noise. It's very hot here today, so my air conditioner's on, so that's what you can hear. Alright, so I'm going to create a Traveller's Notebook spread today using the absolutely gorgeous Felicity Jane Bailey kit. So I've got my pages cut to size, ready to go. I've got my photo, my journaling is printed out, and I've just printed that onto some plain white cardstock. You may notice here I've got happy birthday and I've left this bit blank. I've got the Madison stamp set from last month's kit, which happens to have a little Madison stamp down in this bottom corner. So I'm thinking I'm going to stamp that next to happy birthday so that it says happy birthday Madison. So I'm pretty lucky that I've got that little stamp there to use. That's a little bit of fun there. Alright, I'm also going to use this piece that comes in the paper pack. So you may have seen these before. I like to keep them because you just never know when they're going to come in handy. I've actually cut a strip of this out and cut them into two pieces, and I'm going to use these across the bottom of my page. You may notice this photo that I've got is very busy. There's lots of streamers and things in it, so I really wanted to keep the background of these two pages quite clean, but I still wanted that touch of fun with all these different patterns. So I've just cut, it's approximately a 1-inch strip that's going across the bottom there, and then I'm going to use some of the other papers. I think I'm going to use this striped blue piece from the stripy pattern paper here. I think I'm going to put that one behind that photo there. I've also got the chipboard stickers here, some of the die cuts as well, and you may notice I've got some twine attached to these three little heart die cuts, and I've just used a bit of double-sided tape on the back of each of those to attach the twine, and I'm going to group these together like balloons on the page since this is a birthday themed spread. So they're ready to go with that twine on there. I've got the Bailey stamp set here too, which I'm going to use. I've got the date and details stamp that I want to use. I think I'll use this XO stamp as well, and this little one on the side that says love this so much. So I've got that there ready to go. So I think I'm ready to get started. I'll pop you on fast forward and show you how I'm going to put this one together. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to add those two strips along the bottom of each of these pages. I've just cut my background pages from the Felicity Jane Essentials white cardstock. I like to do them on separate pages to stick into my notebook instead of doing them straight into the notebook, just so that I can add things like stitching and staples and stamping, and it doesn't matter what the other side looks like. And then when the spread's finished, I can just stick it straight into my notebook. Alright, so that's done. I can now go ahead and add the Madison stamp to my journaling. So I'll do a little test onto some plain white cardstock first, just to make sure the image is turning out nicely, and then straight onto the journaling. And I'm happy with how that looks. Alright, so while I've got my ink pad out, I'm going to go ahead and do the other stamping as well. So there's that little label piece that says love this so much. Then I've got the date and details stamp there. Making sure I've got lots of ink on that, and then I'll do that little solid XO stamp. So I'll make sure I've got lots of ink onto that one so it gets lots of coverage there. Alright, so I'll just do that one again so that I can use the image that turns out the best. So I'm going to stamp straight into the date box there with the Felicity Jane roller date stamp. I love that this date stamp allows you to do the month and the year with two little hearts in the center. So that's done, and then I decided to try using my typewriter to add in the details. It was a little bit off center, so I went ahead and typed it out separately. You can see there I'm just cutting it out. It says 13th birthday, and I stamped the date and details stamp again, and I'm going to just adhere that piece into that details area. So I've got a foam dot on the back of the XO stamp, and now I'm going to add a foam dot to the back of this little gold heart die cut, and that's going into that little empty box on the date and detail stamp. Alright, so now that they're done, I can go ahead and start adding these things to this spread. So I've got the date piece to go underneath the photo there. So I can go ahead and add my photo to the page now as well, just using some double-sided tape for that. Okay, so then I've got my journaling, and I thought it needed a little bit of colour around it. So I've got this light blue scalloped piece, which is from that packaging that I showed you earlier. So that's getting tucked in underneath the bottom edge of the journaling there. And I decided to add another piece of that blue striped paper at the top. So I debated whether to tuck it in behind or add it on the top, and I ended up adhering it to the top of that piece. So now that's done, I can go ahead and add my journaling to the page. Just make sure that scallop piece is all nice and straight across that bottom edge. Okay. So when I'm adhering this down, I'm trying to line it up so it's fairly level with the top of the photo on the other side there, just so it looks nice and even. So I'm going to add some stitching to the whole spread. I've added stitching to the photo, to the journaling, across the strips on the bottom, and I've also added some stitching to that date piece as well. So now I'm going ahead and adding these two pieces to the top of the photo. The Happy die cut is added with foam dots for a bit of dimension, and the Love This So Much stamped piece was added to that yellow label. So they're layered together at the top there. The XO stamped piece went on the bottom corner of the journaling. And now I'm going to add those little hearts to the page. So I've got foam dots on the back of each heart. And I did decide they were up a little bit high, so you'll see me repositioning those very shortly. Just wanted them down just a fraction. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to grab all those little twine tails so that they're all together, and I'm going to staple them in place with my tiny attacher. Because it's such a small staple, I'm then able to grab that little chipboard bow sticker and stick it straight over the top. And it stuck down really well. I was actually quite surprised that it stuck so well. I was prepared to add a little glue dot, but I didn't need it in the end. So just making a couple of little adjustments there. Okay. So I felt that it needed a little extra something under the journaling there. So in the end I grabbed this little chipboard piece from the Chipboard Shapes pack there, and that finishes this spread off. So I'll give you a closer look at all the details. You can see all the stitching and all those bits and pieces. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing how this one's come together. Please let me know if you've got any questions. Just pop it down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. There'll be a link down below to Felicity Jane as well if you'd like to go and check out these goodies in the shop. And I will be back very soon with another project to share with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you soon. Bye for now.